You ever been afraid of somebody?
Yes.
Who?
I have my pride. I don't know if being afraid of somebody would have ever stopped me from going through with it, but there's been some times when I've left the locker room and known I did not think I was going to beat Jon Jones the night that I fought Jon.
Most people who fight Jon Jones learn a very unfortunate lesson about their own limitations. For this video, we're going to cover some of the most dramatic reactions to losing the 205-pound GOAT himself. Here's what UFC fighters look like before and after fighting Jon Jones. You gotta hand it to Chael Sonnen. Despite all of the bravado and trash talk, he has absolutely no problem being very upfront and honest about his fight with Jones.
Better than Jon Jones, I'm better than Sean Combs, I am even better than John Holmes.
Of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and it's gonna be crazy, ladies and gentlemen, and you're gonna wanna watch it.
Turns out the whole thing was always gonna end in failure, in Chael's mind. He very candidly admitted that he was on a lot of performance-enhancing drugs ahead of this fight, and even with all those illegal substances coursing through his body, he knew full well that he did not stand a chance against Jones.
I had a higher juice concentrate than Tropicana. Okay, he pushed me across that octagon like a Volvo into a Mack truck, and I started looking for a way out. That's just the truth.
That might be the most humble thing that a fighter has ever admitted, right? Despite going 0-2 against Jon, Daniel Cormier was undoubtedly the greatest rival he ever had, and these two guys' personalities clashed almost immediately. In fact, they couldn't even be in the same room together without something kicking off. Jon won the first fight comfortably, but DC improved dramatically in the time since, making the rematch one of the most anticipated fights in UFC history, and you could just tell that they somehow both grew to hate each other even more.
I'm gonna prove to
you know what? Actually, you know what? I don't want to be a commentator. I just want to make you cry backstage again.
The second fight was a lot closer than the first, but Jones's consistent body work was outstanding, and eventually he opened up a head kick that began one of the most brutal finishing sequences you'll ever see. DC was concussed and totally distraught when he was given an ill-advised post-fight interview.
I thought the fight was going well. I don't even know what happened. It's like I got kicked in the head. Oh man, I'm so disappointed.
On reflection, DC seemed to understand Jones's greatness better than most. Even the competitor in him would not fully accept that he was unbeatable.
He was strong.
He was always
when we
strong.
fought, he was strong. Like he was strong. Leverage. Great with his leverage.
Do you think DC could beat Jon Jones even if they fought 10 times? What happens if it was at heavyweight? The 2 times that Alexander Gustafsson faced Jon Jones were incredibly different. And for this video, we're looking at before and after for both of them. The first time around, Gustafsson seemed like he was just happy to be there, and he was very clearly the dark horse in the division.
It's gonna go well, you know. I'm doing my homework right here, so I'll be ready.
But if ever there was a clue that this fight was going to be better than expected, the face-off during this press conference was pretty damn good. Speaking about it in hindsight, the Mauler seemed to know exactly how close he came to getting the win, although he would eventually get a second chance.
It was tough. It was really tough because, you know, everybody was saying like, "You're winning this fight. You're winning this fight." It was just right there at the goal line. I didn't really pass that goal line at all.
This time, it seemed like Gustafsson had done a total 180 on Jon, and now he completely despised him.
This guy has found a way to justify why he lost.
Unfortunately for him, the fight would not be close at all. Jon kept him at distance for the first couple of rounds, and then eventually took him down and pounded him out.
I'm disappointed, very disappointed, but it's a sport and it's a fight, so I just have to take it. So he just made sure I couldn't move anymore. That was it. It took me down and I couldn't get up, and yeah, that was it.
Out of all the opponents Jon faced over the years, Anthony Smith has to be considered one of the least effective when it came to his fight night performance. Smith made a pretty ballsy and effective call out of Jon. Although we didn't know it at the time, but he was about to bite off way more than he could chew. Smith is by no means a bad fighter, but there are levels to this game.
Show me an impressive fight.
Me? Are you talking to me?
Bro, now you don't know who I'm talking to.
Using a Fox platform.
In the end, Smith was utterly out of his depth there, dismantled easily. The real point of note in the fight came when he famously refused to accept a disqualification victory. Despite being struck by an illegal knee to the head while grounded, Smith chose to continue fighting, citing a desire to win via merit rather than a rule technicality.
Jon was able to nullify me, and I didn't actually feel like I was in a fight, and I didn't compete like I said that I would.
In reality, it was an honorable move, but he really didn't fight like he truly believed he could win, making this one of the easiest victories of Jon's career. But what do you think? Should Smith have let his honor go and taken the life-changing paycheck he would have gotten for winning that fight by DQ? By taking the easy way out, just think of the increase in pay and the pay-per-view points he would have gotten for the inevitable rematch. How many of your favorite fighters would have taken that path? Let us know in the comments below. The man tasked with welcoming Jon to heavyweight comes in next, the French phenom, Ciryl Gane. Before the fight, Gane was as confident as can be, believing that he, as the younger, more athletic natural heavyweight, would be able to use his striking to keep the ring-rusted Jones at bay.
I know who is this guy, and I respect this guy another time, and we're gonna do a war, no worries for that.
It barely looked like he was worried at all, but unfortunately, we would soon learn that he had a major hole in his game, a real novice-level ability in the defensive grappling department that would cost him everything on fight night.
Good, and seriously, my feeling is so good, and I got no pressure.
In the end, Gane was too embarrassingly bad on the ground out there, and he looked pretty uncertain on the feet too. For Jon, getting the takedown and immediately locking up the sub could not have been easier.
It was a short feeling, but he's a real heavyweight for sure. Unfortunately, yeah, he's a real heavyweight.
This is the type of loss that would haunt Gane for years to come.
Not gonna be better than Jon Jones in 5 years. He was confident, he was comfortable.
Do you think Ciryl Gane will eventually become the heavyweight champion of the world? But how about a word from the most recent opponent in Jon Jones' career, the aging UFC heavyweight GOAT himself, Stipe Miocic? Jon was really pushing to manufacture some beef between himself and Miocic, claiming that Stipe said things that he actually didn't. But you could tell that Stipe, as usual, was just not interested in playing the promotional game. At this point, he was older, wiser, and a little tired of the fight game.
I mean, nothing new. I mean, Jon's done well. He's power bound. He's the best. You know, they call him the GOAT. I don't care. I've never cared about the odds. You know, Vegas hates me, and I'm gonna keep it that way. I mean, Jon pretty much summed it up right there, man. I mean, I'm not much of a talker, as you know, but like he said, he's got a great team, great family, as do I. And this man, it's some fireworks on Saturday, and I can't wait.
After losing a pretty one-sided fight to Jon, Stipe walked away from the sport once and for all. Most people agreed that he looked old and weathered in this fight. But even though he was full of praise for Jon, he eventually saw some holes in his game that he wished he could have exploited. In the end, he capped off a legendary career and left the sport as one of the all-time greats of the heavyweight division. But what do you think 2026 holds for the former two-division UFC champion Jon Jones? Will he ever make that walk to the UFC octagon again? Let us know your hot takes and opinions in the comments below.